if you look at people like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, or those who have carried the big technological transition, these are all individual people, single people who put this into the world with the help of other people they inspired. And of course, we have our cell phones and we have our computer screens, and it changed our lives. The fact that we can talk now here and you are 5 hours ahead of us, or the other way around, that's because of these people have done their job. And then the question is, what can we do? What can any one of us do to activate that potential? And that potential is different for everybody. So one of the important, let's say, basic principles of Logosynthesis is that you are here with a mission and you are essence. And to find that mission, what's mine, and to give it a form into what I call the matrix, and to learn the skills and to acquire a language, to find your place in the world. That's different for each of us. And I've been doing a lot of work in recognizing what is your task in this world and what do you need to put it into form or to shape reality. And everybody's shaping reality also. If you think you don't shape reality, if you do nothing, you shape reality because you give a chance to those other influences.
Yeah, that was when because I published 2 books about logosynthesis based on my personal experience. And my first one was, based on being a busy working mom and working in the corporate environment and all the demands going through a lot of change. But the day I decided to publish that book was the day after Trump was elected. And I thought, surely to God, whatever I say is it's not going to be anymore. If that energy is out in the world with Trump in power, then I've got to break past my comfort level. And I just got so much trust in this model as far as taking us forward and helping us to overcome a lot of the challenges that we experience. So it took a lot, but maybe that was the catalyst to say, get over yourself and just do it, kind of thing, right? And so
Yeah,
yeah.
at the moment I'm working on a book which has the courage to create in the title. So you can't create without going over a threshold and without leaving the familiar behind. Because the only thing that's important for you is what you are doing in this world. And there's a quote from the Bible that what you do for the for the smallest people, you do it for Christ, and the Christ in the sense of the higher good. And I think that's important. So it's also in the small things. It's in supporting people, children to grow up in a certain environment which is safe and in which there is a place for more than, let's say, economic or material thinking. And if you come from a more spiritual background, it's also important that your children learn to live in this world and not in a kind of bubble in which everybody's happy and laughing at each other. So for me, it's important to look at both perspectives. So what I call essence in the matrix. You are of divine origin. You come into this world with something which is about you, which comes from you, and then you you enter this world, and maybe people are not waiting for what you have to offer. It's almost I'm always a little bit skeptical if people are really enthusiastic about a new idea, because probably it's not a quite new idea. It's a comforting idea. But living your mission is not always comfortable, and it's also not necessary, because if you are in contact with your mission, it doesn't matter so much if the other people like it uh, the first time, the second time, or the 40th time. So when I was uh, this in this process of discovering logosynthesis, my colleagues kept laughing at me. What's he at? And yeah, and I was disappointed because they didn't like what I had discovered. I was very enthusiastic, and I learned to find the language, and I learned to connect to certain people who like it. And if people don't like it, it's not my business, because they build they won't build anything with me together.
That's true, right? Because I can also relate, because when I speak about it, it's new in my circle. It's not the way we normally address issues. Um, and so yeah, it takes a while, just and not everybody understands it, and sometimes it gets frustrating. But it's such a powerful model when you work with it and understand it. And to me, it allows us to create a path forward, that we're not constantly repeating those exact patterns that we're seeing happening now when we look at what's happening with almost a replication of what's happened in the past. It allows us to kind of heal that past and move forward into something new. And so I have a lot of faith that, as we learn a new language and as we learn a new way to move forward in the world, we don't have to keep repeating the the same patterns that we've always had. And that does allow new ways to kind of show up, that yeah, we can all kind of live more peacefully together.
Yeah, and I think it's very important that we have a growing community of people who can talk together. So let's say if you're the only one in Canada who knows this, it's quite different from having at least a circle of people who understand and who can create a common base to go into the world with this.
Yeah.
So it's so different for me now, um, with a large group of people on Facebook, in the media, in the training groups, compared to where we started. And we started from scratch 17 years ago.
And for me, when I first was introduced to it, it was a lot of in the world of counseling, a lot of trauma work, and that was not where I was coming from. Like, I was just a busy working mom who wanted to, kind of chill out a little bit more, and coming from that corporate world. And for me, it took a while just to kind of get comfortable with that, and see the exact same application um, in a different aspect of everyday living, I guess.
Yeah, and I think some my perspective has also shifted. So I come from a healing background as a psychologist and psychotherapist, and um, I come from a spiritual background. And in the beginning, this was about more about healing individuals than, let's say, healing the world. So, and in time, I've realized that it's more and more that how important it is to that we enter the matrix, that we look for resources around us instead of in ourselves. It's important to realize who you are, what you come from, why you're here, and then the next step is to enter the matrix and look for people who wants to talk to me, who doesn't want to talk to me. Where's the resistance? Because you learn from the resistance and you learn from the cooperation. You need both.